Okay, good morning or good afternoon, wherever you're from. This is Jeremy Nathan with JN Training. We're really happy to have you here in this Copilot introductory session. It's Copilot for Microsoft 365. Yeah, we're real excited about this. Copilot has just been around, it's been around since about the beginning of the year, but around then, actually last year it came out, but a company had to have 300 seats to be able to use Copilot. But now, just as few as one person from each company can use Copilot. So yeah, real excited to have you all here. Like I said, Jeremy Nathan here with JN Training. We're based out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. I'm a Microsoft certified trainer. I have the PL300 certification, so I'm a Power BI data analyst and also a Microsoft Office specialist in Excel. And we teach other classes. We teach these classes in person and remotely. And we'll put our website into chat. And so you can check that out. If you're interested in looking at our outlines, just send us an email. And I'll have Chris and Charlie put our emails into the chat here too. So that way you can contact us, and then we'll send you out the outlines to show you what all we do, whether that be in person and remote through Microsoft Teams training. So this course is being recorded. We'll put this on our YouTube channel. So look for that maybe up there later today or tomorrow. So yeah, so we'll get started here. But before we get started, I'll have Chris and Charlie introduce themselves.
All right, so hello everyone. My name is Chris. Well, full name is Christopher Small. You can call me Chris. I'm an instructor here. I teach a lot of the Excel and Microsoft apps, and I'll be teaching Power BI in the future. And I'm looking forward to working with all y'all today. I really appreciate all y'all coming, and thank you. Thank you for coming again.
Yeah, and my name is Charlie Faulkner. You can just call me Charlie if you need any help or have any questions. I am also Microsoft Office Specialist certified, as well as PL 900 certified. That's Power Automate, Power Apps. But yeah, we're excited for today. We're excited to learn about some Copilot. So thank y'all for coming.
All right. Yeah. Thanks again, Chris and Charlie. Yeah. So let's get started up here, and I'll show you. I'll explain Copilot, the pricing, how to get it started, and so you can see. Here's our page with our agenda that you want to see. You all are welcome to ask questions at any time, so you can just stop me to ask questions. So it's kind of like one of our little mini live trainings here, just so you can see how we teach, and real happy to teach you some new skills today. So let me put in the pricing for Copilot. And but before I put in the pricing, I'll tell you what Copilot is it's a large language model, or an LLM, and it's kind of like ChatGPT. Have any of you used ChatGPT or Copilot, or both? If you want to put that in the chat, you can.
I have used the free versions of both, but not the paid version.
Okay. Okay, great. And then, hey, Miriam, how are you doing? Okay, Miriam, you've used both. Okay, great. And I'll put in the website here. This is the Copilot for 365 website. And I'll go ahead and start sharing my screen. So since I'll be sharing my screen most of the time anyway here. So right here, you can see Copilot for 365, how it looks. And I'll show you, let's go to the pricing link. So it's $30 per user per month. Of course, right now, Microsoft just has the annual commitment only. So basically, it costs $360 up front for one person, for each person for the whole year. And these are the licenses you need to have at work. So this, what we're talking about here is Copilot for 365 Business. And with that, you need to have a Business Premium, E3, E5, or Office E3 or E5 license. Okay, and then yeah, it works in, and I'll show you a lot of these apps that it works in Excel, works in OneNote. Basically, it works in every single Microsoft app. You know, if any of you have seen that, a lot of you are familiar with AI, and you know every company is putting it in all of their apps. But the really good part about this is that it works in all of your Microsoft 365 apps, especially, and it usually, basically, it works in all of them. But I'm going to explain and show you that it's really good, and it's meant for using this in the Microsoft 365 inside of SharePoint and OneDrive, and even more specifically SharePoint, of working together with your team. Okay. So yeah, if you want to put in, so I see some of you said you've used both. Do you want to put in the chat, or you can turn your microphone on and just tell us? It generally, you don't have to don't say any company secrets or anything, but just tell us, how have you been using ChatGPT or Copilot at work? What are some of the things, how you've been leveraging that?
Yeah, I can share.
Sure.
So, like in my workplace, which is a municipality, I use Copilot, and for example, one thing that I really liked about it was that it got integrated into my Office 365. So I have a lot of documents to read after joining this organization. So, for example, I had collective convention of the, I don't know how to say, like, collective convention of the Society of Workers in this organization, and all their work conditions, all the formations that we had to pass. And it was an exhaustive amount of reading. So I opened it with Copilot, and I said, please read it for me and give me the important notes. What is it talking about? Salary? What is it talking about? For example, absence, vacations, insurance. One by one, I was asking Copilot questions. It was reading the document and give me a summary. And then I was like, can you translate it to my language, which is not English, it's Persian. So it was in French. Then I was asking some question in English. Then I said, okay, now whatever you wrote for me, tell me in Persian language. It was crazy.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's great that it can translate through all those different languages. And yeah, like you've seen, Copilot really makes it a lot more efficient for work. And yeah, thanks, Miriam, for sharing.
I also used it for a little bit with my Power Automate.
Oh, yeah, that's great. Yeah, and look forward to other 1-hour events. Charlie may be doing a 1-hour Power Automate here soon, in a month or so, and then Chris is going to be doing a Power BI one. And yeah, it's really great that how Copilot is integrated even into Power Automate, Power Apps, Power BI. So some of those more advanced programs, we're not going to be talking about those today. We'll just be talking about the Microsoft 365 apps, such as Teams, Word, and PowerPoint. And okay, yeah, anyone else, you want to share some of your experience working with ChatGPT or Copilot? How you've been using that at work?
I would say the same. I have used it for basic tasks, so going from creating drafts of emails or creating drafts for documentation. Of course, it has to be reviewed afterwards, but it's been very useful for creating drafts, I would say.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. And yeah, we've been using it, like you said, it's really great with using Copilot to put in what you want to say. And I put my LinkedIn in the chat, and we'll put our JN training page in chat, and we use that to even make posts. We use Copilot for that. But let me show you how to get started with Copilot here. Or yeah, anyone else though? Anyone else want to share their experience using Copilot?
Yeah, this is Cece. I don't use, like I said, I don't use Copilot, but I do use ChatGPT a lot, mainly like the one that they mentioned earlier, drafting emails or try to make it more professionally. I find it's very good. Like I have already drafted the email, and then I just ask it to write it into more formally or sometimes into more professionally. So I think it really helps. And I use ChatGPT a lot, like in a even sometimes like it's almost become like a little assistant. I if I don't know something, I just ask, what is this? Can you tell me a little bit more about it? So it's almost like a little conversational dialogue to get some information out. So it's pretty handy. But the reason why I think someone mentioned it to me, they say, oh, you use ChatGPT a lot, but then they say, oh, actually Copilot is better. So I started to say, oh, really? I haven't heard about it before. And so I thought, and I came across this event. I thought, oh, okay, let's find out a little bit more.
Okay, yeah, that's great. Yeah, and since you mentioned the difference between ChatGPT and Copilot, so we actually have both ChatGPT Pro and Copilot. The good thing about ChatGPT is it saves your prompts, and then Copilot can also make prompts. So yeah, Copilot can make prompts, and it can also look and work with your other 365 apps. So as I'm sharing my screen here, this is Microsoft Word, and we could just, and I'll show you how to set it up here in a minute, but we'll just ask Word here. I did Alt-I to bring up Copilot in Word. So I'll just say, what is an LLM? And click Generate. And then, so that way it'll describe it to us. And of course, you have to be on the internet for Copilot to work, because it's looking on the internet. It's nice how it explains to you pulling things together instead of just the spinning wheel. And then you see it starting to type, like it says here. Maybe I should have typed in, here I'll click Stop Generating because it's looking at a different LLM here. So I'll just say discard, and I'll do that again and put in what is a large language model. And of course, what it is, let me type this in correctly. So it looks at all of the other text online. So you can give it, like you said, prompts in English or a different language to have it give you answers. And let's see kind of what Copilot defines an LLM.
Jeremy, I have a question about that.
Sure.
Now you have mentioned that Copilot will have to be connected to the internet in order to answer your questions. But my question is it possible that we feed our own files and our own data to Copilot so that it answers our questions without using the internet? Does it have this feature?
I'm pretty sure you have to be on the internet for even Copilot to work at all.
Okay.
But that's a good question. Usually I'm connected to the internet, so I can't remember if, like you see in this top little bar here with Copilot, I'm pretty sure you have to be on the internet for that to even work.
And even if you're connected for the internet, is it possible to feed it your information, like your data, your different files, for example, your politics, and to ask questions and for it to draft, for example, documents starting from your own data and files? Or does it have always to look for information?
Well, like I'm saying, I'm pretty sure you have to be on the internet for even Copilot to even work at all. But to answer your question too, Copilot will look at your other documents and you can work with your other documents. But as far as I know, you have to be on the internet for Copilot to even operate. So that's great questions. So yeah, like here it says with the large language model, it gives us a really long definition of the mathematical system, assigns a probability or sequence of words. But, basically it's all the text online that this goes out and looks at, and to do text generation, text completion, like you said, like some of you said, to translate from a different language, and so on. So it can really do a lot. But today we're mostly going to be looking at, like you said, of having Copilot work with our other Microsoft 365 apps, or other files saved in SharePoint. And Carlton said, could you upload a file and have Copilot analyze it? Yeah, great question. And I'll show you how to do that. So yeah, let me show you how to set up Copilot. Well, first, your IT department, you'd have to have someone at your company pay for Copilot, okay? And you let them know it's $30 a month. Like I said, $360 per year. That's US dollars. The price may be different in other countries. So now, after you have it to set it up, or IT might do this for you, but let's say that basically you get the license from your company assigned to your username, okay? And then here is where when you set it up, you just go to here, File and Account, and you need to click Update Options here. So you need to make sure you're signed in with your company like this. If you're not, you need to switch license, and then you click Update Options. So you do those, and then you click Update License. When you do Update License, you see a little Copilot symbol right there. That's the Copilot symbol to the left of the A. So you can see the apps that we have here: Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and so on, and Copilot. Okay, any questions about getting it set up? Oh, and you have to do this, by the way, in Word and Excel and PowerPoint. I think that's the main, like I don't use Access, so I didn't set up an Access. But you would have to set up in every application that you use, like OneNote, Publisher, Project. Any questions about that? Where you have to set this up in all of your apps.
But sorry, I have it updated and I have Copilot activated, but in my Office, I don't have that option.
Okay, you don't. So you're saying you do not see the little Copilot symbol
No.
in yours? Would you want to share your screen? You could share your screen, and I can help you with it.
Sure. So as you see, I have Copilot activated for my Windows, but not in my account.
Okay. So
I say update. It says you're up to date, but maybe.
Well, I see you have Microsoft 365. Well, and by the way, that's only 2 words that I can understand. My French, I don't know any French, but my sister knows French. I should have her on here too to translate, but I'm just kidding. But here,
but
yeah, you
honestly,
updated.
I'll share with you. I have been trying a lot to change the language of my computer, but looks like in organizations, especially in Quebec, we are not able to change the language. I don't know, it's a problem. In any government organizations I go, I'm not able to change the language.
Okay, I see. But I can let me share my screen again to show you which apps you have. Maybe this will help. And it's okay if you keep it on French, of course, that you could always tell me what the buttons mean. So it's okay. So yeah, let me share my screen again. 1 second here, please. So okay, if you go to office.com, so everyone type in their browser office.com with me. So just so I went to office.com, and then I clicked on the waffle, and I clicked. All you have to do is go to office.com. Okay, I'll type it in the chat. Office.com, and then on the top right, click on your image, and then click on View Account. Okay, View Account. The top right. And let me know, are you all following along okay?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So yeah, your image, and that was View Account. And then you scroll down and click on View underneath Subscriptions. And then under Subscriptions here, we'll click View Subscriptions again. And then these are the subscriptions that I have. I have Microsoft Teams Premium. And well, of course, we instruct all these apps too, and Microsoft Copilot for 365. So is this the one you have when you went there?
No, it's not.
Okay, so you do not see Microsoft Copilot for 365, but you said you've been using it in your apps, or no?
Yeah, that's crazy. I have it for Windows, but I don't have the license.
Yeah, okay. So then it works. So you have Copilot for Windows 11. Well, I'm still on Windows 10. I was going to update that today. But this Copilot for 365, this is where you can work with all of your apps. So the Copilot that you have with Windows, have you been able to interact with other SharePoint apps using that, or no?
With online Word, no, I haven't been able to.
I see. Okay, then this is what you'll need is to work with Copilot for Microsoft 365. You need the license, and through your company username to get that to work. Okay.
Okay.
And if I scroll down, I'll just show you the main. I have an E5 license, and you can see Fabric Free, and we have Power Apps Premium, Power BI Premium, a lot of Microsoft licenses. I'll keep scrolling down here, and here you can see there's the Microsoft 365 E5. So the difference on that one page, the difference between Office 365 E5 and Microsoft 365 E5 is that the Microsoft 365 E5 comes with the security features such as Azure Premium, P1, down here, information protection, and that's the intra plan, P1 and P2 comes with a Microsoft 365 E5 license, along with Defender and other cybersecurity applications. Okay, Arish, no problem. You can catch the recording. Okay, any questions on the licenses, or okay, great. Let me keep moving on to the next thing. So again, yeah, you just have to ask your IT department to get this license for Copilot. So let me go back to kind of move my screen around to show you. So let's get started with, so like it says in here, we'll get started with Word, which is some of the easiest way to get started with this. So if I just bring up a new blank Word document, here's that Word document here on the screen. And, of course, Copilot's already been activated in here. And then you saw earlier, so I made a prompt. Well, I can click on the symbol or click Alt-I. So that right there's a symbol, brings up Draft with Copilot, or I can just type, can be anything from the internet. So basically you can just practice making these prompts from scratch. But another thing, I can have it look at other files, or I can have it draft something for business here, like, write me a training plan for Copilot, or for a Copilot class. So I'll say training outline for a one-day Copilot class. You don't have to say please. You can if you want. The more words you put in a prompt, the better results you get. Oh, here it said 1 hour, even though I think I put 1 day. Maybe I should say specifically 8 hours. So you can see the different results it's coming up with here, just looking from the internet for this class. So really, you'll learn more today probably than what this says. But instead of keeping it, so I don't want to keep this. I want it to refresh the prompt, to redo the prompt, So I'll click in here, I'll say, I'll just say no, make it an 8-hour course on Microsoft 365 apps or Copilot. I'll say please this time. Maybe I should have said please the first time. Then it would have seen that 1 day instead of 1 hour. And of course, some of the terminology you may not want to use, like thank you and farewell. Here in the United States, I don't know, a lot of people use farewell. Sounds more like maybe British English, but you can always change the wording here. Now here's the 8-hour course with introduction, with Excel. And you see it, some of the things it can do, a lot of detail, right? VBA macros, get into Word. So of course, it's showing a lot of detail here. And with PowerPoint, and you see it looks like the same exact thing for each topic, which wouldn't be the best to use. It's just Copilot's really giving us the exact same words for every topic, which is not ideal. But but I could refresh it, say, don't make every single outline look the same. Yeah, and any questions while this is coming up? Do you see how many pages it keeps going on and on here? I could say, make it different for each application, please. But you see how it'll remember the original prompt that I gave it. Yeah, any questions while we're waiting for it to respond?
I'm not sure, but it seems like the responding time is much slower than ChatGPT. Because I can actually see it's trying to, answer my question or not my question, but try to generate the answer for it. When I look at it compared to when I use ChatGPT, it seems a little bit taking much longer than it is. Is that a valid observation or?
Well, yeah, we could try out the difference here. I'll bring up ChatGPT here and just see the difference, and you come back to that. So I'll say, make a 8-hour detailed course for Microsoft 365 Copilot. I'll give it more words to give it more detail. And I'll put the link in the chat for ChatGPT too, right here. And then here I'll click the send message button. Yeah, like you said, it's going a lot quicker. I don't have the answer to why. I mean, the only thing I could guess is that, so we're using Copilot within the Microsoft 365 applications, where it's based on it's using our desktop application and going out to internet, whereas here on the browser, we're just on the browser, would be my guess of why this is quicker. And you notice it gives us maybe even more detailed, but I gave it more, I gave it a different prompt here than I gave the other one. So where you see it says 1 hour, and it's giving us different results for each class. Okay, yeah, great question there. Yeah, any other questions on the prompts here? Okay, you see the one, here's the output, the most recent one this gave us to see. Well, I know it still says it's working on. One thing I've noticed, if you give it a prompt in Word in a Microsoft app, you don't want to click off of it until it's finished. So I've noticed that you don't want to click around, especially on another Word document or Excel document, or else it'll stop your prompt. You see where it says, sorry, something went wrong, where it stopped working. And I think that's because I clicked off of it. Okay, so just showing you that I've come across that a lot, where if I'm not patient, I need to let it finish responding before you click somewhere else. I know a lot of us like to multitask, but just so you know that you just have to wait, maybe to stand up and stretch or get a drink of water or something. Okay. So yeah, that's how to make a basic prompt here. Let me show you some other ways to use this, and that way, and then also, yeah, let's go to the next thing. So next, let's look at using PowerPoint. All right. So I'll bring up a PowerPoint presentation, a blank PowerPoint presentation. So if you have Copilot, you can follow along with me. So here's a blank PowerPoint presentation here. And yeah, does someone want to put in the chat? You could give me an idea. What's an idea that you would have for a PowerPoint presentation? Maybe it could be basic or detailed. What's an idea you have? And I'll do that here in Copilot. Copilot make a presentation based on an idea you all have. How to get enough sleep? Okay. Okay, yeah, let's go with yours first, Carl. Let's do that. So let's click on Copilot. Yeah, Carl, maybe it'll tell us, you know, don't look at every AI application out there, but, you know, keep it up though. So I'm just kidding. So here, let's say, make a presentation. And we can try yours out too, Miriam, in a second. Make a presentation on how to get enough sleep. I'll put period and just send it. And you'll see pictures come up, each slide with just a few words, so it looks pretty professional. And I think PowerPoint is one of the best apps. I mean, well, of course, using Copilot in Word is really helpful. You know, if you're using Word a lot, like me and Chris and Charlie do, we use it a lot in Word. Now here's this one. So this is, of course, just a simple 6-slide show here. Tips for getting enough sleep. Well, I'm wondering if that's a coffee or tea. We'll have maybe a non-caffeinated beverage there, I'm assuming.
Maybe an herbal tea.
Maybe. So here, maintain a sleep schedule. You know, so here's some things it says. Yeah, maybe here, don't fall asleep on the couch, limit screen time, exercise regularly, and avoid caffeine and alcohol. Okay, well, thank you, Copilot. I'll do all those suggestions tomorrow.
I'll do them all with caffeine.
Yeah. Yeah, we're some coffee drinkers here. And yeah, you're right, Brandy. You see how it makes the pictures, you know, puts an alarm clock and where it should be, you know, the screen time here. This is really good. You can you already see how this could be useful with employee trainings if you're in human resources or any presentation you need to make. So I don't necessarily type thank you because you know, it may ask me what I mean. But another thing, but that's a good question, Carl, is that I believe Microsoft really uses the feedback, and they could use the feedback to say, okay, it worked out, and it could help other people. So I'll say thank you for the presentation. It was perfect. And let's see what it says. Yeah, like you said, especially saving time to look for images. Exactly, because it's probably not a copyrighted. I know this looks like an iPhone, or maybe not. Maybe it's just looks like an iPhone, but maybe these are not copyright. See, there's no logo on the shoes, no logos on the cup. So yeah, they could be free images to use, I'm assuming. So, oh, you see it said, "You're welcome. I'm glad the presentation was useful." And then I could give it a thumbs up to get feedback. And I'd say, this was a great, succinct presentation. You do not have to do this, but it helps. It helps the whole community here to make a presentation on getting enough sleep. It says share content sample. I'm saying yes here because it's just fake things. If I had my work documents, there's no way I would say no, do not give it samples and additional log files. Okay, so I'll just say, well, I mean, a great question to see what's being collected. So we'll go ahead and I'll put that in the chat so you can see. And here before I submit that, where we could just see what data is. It's using Graph. What Graph does, it connects to all of your Microsoft 365 apps through the cloud. So it's going to give it my prompt, the response, the query string. So that's okay, because this was not using company information. And by the way, using Copilot, using your company files for Copilot, Microsoft does not use that to work on other people's prompts. Okay, here, I'll just submit that.
Sorry, may I interrupt, or shall I ask
sure.
later?
Go ahead. Yeah, sure.
Oh, for the presentation, can you? Oh, not you, but can Copilot do, say, generate? Let's say I don't like this image. Ask me to generate an other set of images, but keep some of them.
Oh, well, that's a great question. Well, what I would do is I would save this presentation as the first response, and that, it's having a copy of it, and then ask it to change it here. That way you have another, that way you can just move the slides in. Okay. So here.
So does that mean I have to, like, let's say if I saved it and then I ask it to generate another one, does that mean I have to manually, like, update the slides myself, or can it kind of, combine these, or take the first image but swap with the second presentation with the third image, for example, like something like that? So do I have to manually do it myself?
Well, that's a great question, and so I haven't tried to do that of bringing it, but Copilot can look at another PowerPoint and bring information from another PowerPoint, but usually it's all or nothing. Okay, so
okay.
So I could say change slide 3 to make it a bed picture instead of a couch, or say sofa, and see if that changes out slide 3. Whoops, it can instead of can. Maybe I should say, sorry, maybe it can't do it. Change slide 3 image to bed sofa. Let's try that. See, it can't do that. It can just basically, from what I've seen, it can do all or nothing. Okay, so it's not good of changing things in PowerPoint. Now let me show you just real quick how to reword things here in Word. So it gave me this prompt. I'll say keep it, but then I can just hover over text, and I could say, watch this. I hover over the text, or select the text with your mouse, then click rewrite with Copilot. Oh, it says only plain text paragraphs, doesn't support tables or non-text elements. Okay, fine. Then I'll take the bullet points away. I'll show you. I'll just make it plain text. So normal. Okay, normal text. We can make it with bullet points. We can have bullet points later. So then I'll select this plain text, rewrite with Copilot. But it'll give me the little prompt bar at the bottom, the results, and I could say how to fix it. So right now it's rewording, and I can say insert below, or let me click adjust tone. I try to see where I can. Well, I'll just show you. I can insert below, where you can see the changes. You notice it kind of changed. Instead of how to use Copilot, it said how to manage. So that's okay. Watch, I can cut that, go here, do Alt-I, and I can say, make this sound completely different. I don't know, just trying to think of something to type here. Let's try this. So I cut what it gave us, did Alt-I to bring up the prompt window to type in. I'll click generate, and it's running. Is this helping to answer your question on how to work with things one at a time here? With just parts of the document at a time? So it can't do everything. Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Sorry, is that like I think someone earlier mentioned that can you feed some kind of documentation? Is that what you is it
okay.
Is that how we're gonna do it? Is it by this,
Yeah.
or there's another way to do that?
Oh, great question.
I can't remember who mentioned it earlier. I think at the very beginning someone mentioned this.
Well,
it was Miriam.
Miriam did. Oh, thanks, Miriam. So here, I'll keep that. And you notice here, look, it made it look a little different. You see that? How to use Copilot for email, contact, calendar. You see we're up above. It just changed the wording, okay? So you can see that's completely different. It made it more, they put more words in here, okay? Oh, you see, it made it more lengthy. So you can see that's how to do one thing at a time. Okay, now great question with looking at other documents. So let's do that. So I have a document here. So you can see this is our outlines in a Microsoft Word document with our contact information. And I'll press F12 just to show you, see it saved in our training site, in general folder, in the outlines and training topics folder. Okay, so saved in SharePoint. And then I'll just close that. I just need to remember the name of this. So what I'm going to do is I have this open. So then I'm going to open PowerPoint to have PowerPoint make me a presentation based on this Word document. Doing it any other way without Copilot is very difficult to bring in Word into PowerPoint. You have to do import, and it doesn't look nice and neat, that's for sure. So what I'll do, I'll just close this at the top, and I'll go to PowerPoint, and I'll do Control-N for new. So that's Control-N to make a new PowerPoint presentation. And then I'll click in Copilot in top right corner, and then I'll say, make a presentation based on, and you don't have to say based on, but then you put the backslash symbol in here, the backslash, and I'll type in all, and I'm going to look for the all outlines. You see this one? It's that one there. So I click on that one, and I think, let me see if I hover over it, tell me where it's saved, or maybe not, but this is it. So I click on it, and I see the whole name, and I click send. Then you'll see a longer presentation based on that Word document. Oh yeah, great question, Charlie. Yeah, we'll do that too, with the summarizing. Yeah, I think that's what one of you said earlier about summarizing a file. So that way you can have Copilot read it before you read the entire thing. So it says, here's what it's generating. So the introduction, outlines, drafting the presentation. So we know it's working. So I'm, of course, like I said, I'm not going to click on something else. So that way I don't want to interrupt it. So it's going. Well, this is taking longer because that Word document is several pages. It's 30 pages or so. One page for each class that we teach, basically, that you can see all the classes to the right. Yeah, I like how it says the percentage done, so that way you know how long it's going to take. But it's always that last 1%, right? Or it says 99% for the longest time. Okay, so it's still thinking, still almost, there's that 1%. And at the bottom, you see it thinking there too, so do not click off that. And here's the presentation, 46 slides. So here it talks about the outlines. Here's the agenda. And the great thing about I like the white background because then I can print it on white paper. So here's the different, the whole presentation with the different classes. Here's the introduction with our contact information. You see, you like the pictures in here and the outlines that we teach and each different class. Like this one I taught yesterday in Chattanooga, the 365 fundamentals. Yeah, what do y'all think? Did that do a good job? Did a good job, Copilot? I'll give it a thumbs up here. But I do not want to send, I'll say no to sending the feedback. I know thumbs up just brought me to the page. So I'll just cancel that. Okay, any questions there? This is you see we brought that in from the other app. Again, the other application was from Word. And I'll bring that up again real quick just so you can see the differences or similarities, I should say. See that with these outlines, the 365 fundamentals class. It doesn't have everything because then the PowerPoint is more readable, and so we don't have every single word in here in the presentation. Yeah, pretty powerful, huh? And here's our one-day 365 Copilot class. Here, I'll move this out of the way. Word document, or excuse me, PowerPoint. And yeah, you can see how useful that is. And let me show you just a couple other things here. Okay, let me see if you have, I see type in CC. And yeah, let me show you what we'll do next is, so while we're waiting, yeah, here what I'll do is I'll bring up the Copilot. Let me see. Yeah, like you said, it is useful. Okay, yeah, it's a great question, CC. Okay, how to do that in a spreadsheet? Great question. Let's do that next then. Yeah, great job on your participation, everyone here. Okay, so on a spreadsheet, your data must be in a table format. So I repeat, your data must be in a table format for Copilot to work. If your data is just raw data in Excel, it will not work. So this is a table, as you can see, called vehicle inventory of fake data. And then what you do is click on Copilot. Why have Copilot in the menu bar? I'll show you where that's at. See, it's under Home and Copilot. See, it's in preview mode for Excel. All the other apps, it does not say preview, only in Excel. It says preview. What preview means is Microsoft does not want you to use this for production. So again, Microsoft does not want you to use Copilot for Excel for production, for real work, because it may not give you all the correct answers. And that could just be because of data as far as numbers and quantities, to make sure that Copilot, it might miss something. I'm not sure exactly, but it's in preview mode that Microsoft does not mean it to be used in production. So you need to check your work, is what I'm saying. Check Copilot's work. So here I'll say, make a pivot table of the, let's say, top 5 best-selling car makes, and click send. And while this is going, so Carl, I'm not sure how Copilot does with the hallucinations and regurgitation of data. So I'm not sure. So here, see, it's thinking, it's going. Here's the top 5. Like I said, it's fake data again: Toyota, Ford, Chevy, Audi, Honda, and we should see a different sheet with this. Okay, here it says. Let me see if it made the pivot table. Oh, here it is. There's color. I just want to make sure that it made the pivot table. Okay, here you see this where it says add to new sheet. I have to click that, the top 5, add to new sheet. And here they actually gave me 3. Well, it gave me 6 because the last 2 are a tie at 5 and 5. Okay, yeah, does it answer your question there, CC? That's how you can use it in Excel. And now I'll show you how to use it in Teams. So I'll put the Teams app here on the screen, and you see it says open Copilot, or I could click on this Copilot button right here. There's the Copilot button there. So if I click on this, then I can say summarize the meeting. It's generating a response. So you see it's thinking. And then we're almost done. And this will be one other thing that I'll show you in Teams is how to show a summary. Well, this is summary. I'm sorry to show you an action plan based on, and then that's everything for today. Okay, so you see the meeting was an introductory session for Copilot for 365. It says a presenter, Chris and Charlie. So you see how detailed that is. And I'll copy this and put it in the chat just so you can see that. Yeah, any questions with that? And here I'll put in the chat so you can see that response. And then one other thing with Copilot I'll ask is, give me an action plan for this meeting. The 2 of the main prompts that you can do in Microsoft Teams. So what it's looking at is the transcript, of course, because it's been listening to us. You have to record. Well, you don't have to record a Teams meeting, but you have to turn on this transcription. So transcription must be on, and you must have the Copilot license for this to work, because it's just listening to what we say to give us the summary and the action plan. So any last questions while we're waiting on the response here? And here's the action plan. Check out our website. Thank you, Copilot. I didn't pay Copilot to say that, by the way. Maybe because I said it so much during the meeting. But yeah, I hope you all really enjoyed this training. Hope you stay in contact with us through email and or LinkedIn. And yeah, real happy to be working with you all today. And let me see if there's any last minute questions here. Any other questions? Oh, thank you all. Really good working with you all. Hope to see you in future classes.
Yeah, thank you for coming out today. Really appreciate y'all coming.
Yeah,
thanks, guys.
Yeah, we stopped the recording here. So if you all want to ask any other questions, this part